crunch time here on The Jump. Victor Oladipo has opted to have season-ending surgery on his right quadriceps tendon. There's no timetable for his return. It's important to note Oladipo is set to be a free agent this summer. And remember, he turned down a 2-year, $45 million contract extension from the Rockets earlier this season. So, Vince, what are your expectations for Oladipo's free agency in just a month or two?
Man, it's a tough situation, I think, for him. At one point, he was one of the best two guards in the game. I mean, he was playing great basketball, and now it's just first and foremost, you want him to get healthy and prove that he's capable of playing at a high level, and then you go from there.
What about you, Zach?
Yeah, he turned down an even bigger deal, or at least shut down talks for an even bigger deal with the Pacers. And, the biggest way to get paid, the best way to get paid in free agency is to have your own team want to sign you back. That's the best source of leverage. In the Miami Heat, they barely got to know Victor Oladipo, and other teams like the Knicks, they've kind of taken over the past year or so a wait-and-see approach. Wait to see. What player is he? Is he the player he used to be? Is he 90% of that player? And now it's this sort of collective shoulder shrug where you think maybe it's going to be a one-year deal and he's got to prove it again. It's as Vince said, it's really sad considering how great he was the year he made All-NBA.
This is the thing when we talk about players and, bet on yourself sounds great. We talked on this show last week about Julius Randle facing a question this summer about whether he's going to extend with the Knicks or just hold off and wait to get more of a max deal later. I understand the appeal of betting on yourself and hoping that there is more money down the road, but obviously we've seen it. We saw it with Boogie Cousins, right? An injury at the wrong time. Boogie was in line for what looked like a $200 or $300 million contract, and then, of course, since then has been on these shorter deals as he's had to prove himself after his injury. All right, guys, the Blazers defeating the beat-up Jazz last night in Salt Lake. It was Portland's 9th win in the last 10 outings. Portland has moved up to the 5 spot in the West, but a lot can change in the next 5 days. Here's a look at the Blazers' remaining schedule. Tonight at Phoenix, then wrapping up Sunday in Portland versus the Nuggets. So, Zach, let's start with you. How do you see the West turning out, since Portland has the keys to really shape things for like 6 other teams down the stretch?
Yeah, and I think, obviously Portland wants to stay out of the play-in tournament, but I think they'd really like, if you ask them what their preference is, I think they'd say, we like that Denver matchup without Jamal Murray a little bit more than we like that Clippers matchup where you have those big wings that can really prey on Portland's kind of smaller guards. But I've been saying for weeks, the numbers have been screaming it. When Jusuf Nurkic plays, the Blazers are good, and they're good on defense too. Their new starting 5 with Norm Powell and Nurkic is plus 13 or 14 per 100 possessions. It's an elite lineup. Now the bench, which is down to 3 guys at this point, none of whom are, let's say, defensive experts, it's a little hit or miss. But the Blazers are good and they're dangerous, and it looks like they're hitting their stride at the right time.
Absolutely. That they're putting the league on notice. Like, yeah, we struggled. We had injuries. We were up and down. You wrote us off. Here we are. We went from the play-in to 5th spot, and they're going to make some noise. So, yeah, Denver should worry.
Well, there's a lot of players around the league who have their TVs set to Blazers games for the next couple days, because they are going to affect so many. Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.